I got takes on that. Well, that's why we're here, for your juicy takes.
Hot takes.
Welcome, everyone.
Welcome
to the Completely Unnecessary Podcast, May 6th. I'm not sure what year it is. Alongside Ian Ferguson on Pat Country. On the show today, we'll be discussing Ben Affleck being cast as Batman. The Wii U might be in trouble, and more things. Oh, wait a minute.
The DS Lite.
Yes.
Yeah, not the DS Lite, the 2DS.
I'm just confused because Ian looks like he's from a fucking time warp right now.
Yep.
This is Ian 2014 right here with us.
Yeah. Don't know how long I'm going to be clean shaven for.
If you're listening to this, we still have people have never probably seen. I want to find those people who have actually never seen us and only listened to us for 12 years. They're out there. Ian has short hair. And he is clean shaven. The Prince Valiant stage is what he was back in 2013 to 15 or so.
It's stubbly now.
But either way, he's not had this look for several years.
No,
like this.
I definitely need a haircut, and then I'm deciding whether or not I want to stay beardless over the summer.
You want another haircut?
Oh yeah, this is too long. I gotta get it short.
You want it more closer cropped?
Yeah, well, it has been in previous. I mean, there's podcasts in the past 6 months where it has been.
Oh, sure, but historically though, it's been long and ponytailed up.
No. Nope. So I'll trim this down, and
it's 2025, by the way.
I just wanted to grow the beard back out a little cleaner.
On the show today,
GTA
6 delay. Ian is crestfallen.
Yeah.
Nintendo is suing a third-party accessory maker, Genki. Console prices increasing mid-generation. Oh no. Ubisoft says we do not own video games that we buy. And then 6 things Pat forgot he had in his game collection. So that's going to be a fun one.
Wow.
A little clickbaity there. So besides your hair and clean shaven, there's a little stubble. They can't see the stubble out there. What have you been up to?
I've been trying to get out and do more stuff after work. So I've been playing a little bit of pinball again lately. Going to the Golden State Pinball Convention, not this weekend, but next weekend.
Oh, where's that at?
Lodi, California. It's the one I go to with Skylar.
Oh, so you fly in for that?
Mm-hmm. And Vonnie and our friend Kevin are coming with me this time. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
So at the 17th, that weekend?
16th, 17th, and 18th.
What airport do you fly into? Is it Sacramento?
Sacramento.
Well, that's a short flight.
It is. It's nice. And then I'm looking forward to trying some of the new stuff this year. There's a portal pinball machine.
Oh, I forgot to tell you that at Midwest I did have that.
They did?
Yeah, forgot to tell you that.
Did you play it?
No, I didn't have time to play.
Okay,
pinball.
So the reason I'm interested is because the portal pinball machine is a P3 machine. And if you don't know what P3 is, it's a pinball company that is modular pinball, basically.
Modular?
So you buy a table, and it's got a video screen on it.
Okay.
And the back, I would say somewhere between third quarter of the table, you lift out a module, and you put a new one in to change the table. And it's got tons of, optical sensors on the board. I don't like it because every table they make feels the same.
How is this different than just having an LCD screen?
Well, it does have an LCD screen.
Okay.
No, it's a physical module, like a physical mechanical module that you lift up off the table.
So all the playfield pieces are attached, you mean?
Yes.
And you just dunk it in like a Lego piece.
Yes.
Oh, that's interesting.
Well, it is, but the first few that they've the first few years that they've been around, it only really changes the back quarter or back third of the table. So every table is a long shooter. There's no side modifications or midfield modifications.
Okay.
So you just have this clear LCD screen table, and then the back third has your targets and your ramps and stuff like that.
So it has real flippers?
Yes.
Real flippers, LCD in the bottom to show you the art and the score and stuff. So that lights up. And you said in the back there are ramps and things that you hit and targets?
Yes, that's what you change out.
What is it called? I'll just look it up.
P3.
P3 pinball.
P3 pinball.
So the gimmick is you can swap it out though.
Yes.
Different games. Okay.
The reason why I'm excited about the Portal one is the way that the previous machines you swapped out, it really limited kind of the variety that you would get, because eventually all of them are going to feel similar because they're all long targets.
Okay.
So what the Portal one is doing is they're finally doing what I hope they do. They're introducing side modifications, so you can get ramps and things you can get midfield shots now. So you can get midfield shots and long shots.
Okay, I'm pretty sure I saw Portal at Midwest. You're saying this is one of them?
Yes, Portal is a P3 machine.
Pinball. Is that for sale right now?
I believe so, but it's going to be there.
So would this be for someone that doesn't have a lot of room, and plus it's a lot cheaper than buying
It's a full-size pinball machine.
But you only have to buy one and just swap it out.
And then you can swap it out. But that's what I'm saying. Because of the limited area that's modifiable, they all start to feel kind of samey.
Gotcha.
What Portal is doing is now they're starting to introduce optional side modifications that you can hang onto the side of the playfield, so you can get ramps that have midfield shots.
How hard is it to plug these in? How many different things you have to run to make this work?
I've never done a swap on one.
Okay, well that's interesting.
Anyways, yeah, I'm looking forward to checking that out. And I've been playing some miniatures games again. You can listen to me talk about that on the bonus intro portion of the podcast that you can get at patreon.com.
Well, it's not the intro, it's just the bonus podcast.
The bonus
at
podcast.
patreon.com/SCU podcast.
Yeah.
You can listen to us talk about wax poetic about Warhammer and why it's not for beginners.
And Battletech.
So that's fun. What else is happening? What about me? It's my birthday week. I'm going to be 4 years old, and I don't feel terrible. I also don't feel great because it feels like obviously everyone lost 3.5 years because of COVID of doing anything.
Yeah.
For the most part. So it feels like I should subtract a few years of my birthday. I think that's only fair. That's only fair. When you have a once in 100-year pandemic, you should be able to get a few years back.
I feel like I jumped from 38 to 42.
So I feel like I should be turning like 42 or 43. Or 40, or anything besides a number.
Stop saying you're making it easier to guess.
But yeah, so I don't have any set plans outside. I might get dinner with Frank. You suggested maybe doing something. I still have to see Thunderbolts. That'd be a little birthday thing, maybe. It's got decent reviews.
It has.
I also got to get back to the zoo. And that's something my sister recommended. My sister's like, why don't you go? My sister wants me to
New fishing cat.
Yeah, I sent you that.
I know.
It's super exciting.
So if ever there was a reason to
my
go
sister,
back.
My sister, I love my sister, but she gaslights me into thinking I'm a lot less of a person than I am. That's what sisters do, I guess. So you should be going to the zoo every week. And I'm like, okay, it's not walking. If it was walking distance, yes, I would go every other day and take a break. It's not something quite convenient to go every week, but yes, I should be going at least once a month because I have the pass and everything. That I do subscribe to. I should be doing that. But I don't have an associate to go with, or a friend or a lady friend to go with, to enjoy it. Going by myself.
I would go, but I no longer have a year pass, so
you should steal mine. No, you got to show an ID.
You do.
Going. Damn it, that's how they get you. But yeah, I'll get to that, and then yeah, that's my life right now. Is that in Warriors basketball? That's it. That's all I live for right now. And editing a certain NES guidebook, re-editing it from scratch.
My basketball season is more or less over. It's interesting.
You were a madman from the lowered expectations you went into the season to how you ended up. You should be ecstatic.
Well, I am
a Pistons fan.
Oh, I am. I'm absolutely ecstatic.
I wish someone was videotaping you. I would love to see you pacing during the playoffs.
Oh, yeah. Well, so it's interesting because, and I'm still paying attention, to the playoffs because playoff basketball is phenomenal.
Playoffs,
but I have been so used to, for almost the majority of my basketball watching life, to rooting for the Pistons and then immediately having to shift to a different team mid-season.
Sure.
Or something like that.
You got in that weird Kings bandwagon a couple years ago.
I've always said that if I like a California basketball team, it's the Kings.
Now they're a disgrace again. Blow the team up again.
So for me, I think it was I actually ended this basketball season feeling full, satiated.
Yeah.
Like I had eaten a meal and I don't have to go looking for scraps now. It was a better than I could have expected basketball.
I'm not sure. Did we even say in this podcast how we took an impromptu trip to San Francisco to see the Warriors Pistons?
Oh yeah.
Did we mention in the last podcast that we did that?
No idea.
That was 5 weeks ago we did that or so? 5 or 6 weeks? I don't know if we mentioned that, but we did.
Yeah.
It was kind of crazy, but cool.
It was a lot of fun. Bakeries, man. Chinatown bakeries.
We walked a lot. We walked literally half the city of San Francisco. In terms of the length.
Felt good. Felt great.
Oh, I was out of it. When we got back on Monday or Sunday, I was fucking dead. I was out of it.
I bet.
Check out my Instagram story. We have a couple pictures of me and Ian enjoying the game there. Warriors won, by the way. Warriors won. Steph had an awful shooting night, and they still won somehow. GTA 6 is delayed.
Oh, well.
It was delayed the first time. It was supposed to come out by I think by now or earlier than now, and then they said they delayed it again. And so I saw a thing reported by or ascribed to Jason Schreier saying they want to avoid crunch, and that's why they're delaying it.
Yes.
They're going to be crunching no matter what. It's just how much crunch when you're putting out a game this freaking massive and things to go over. And so they released a new trailer and a lot more information today, and it's coming out May 26th of next year. So, and I saw something online. I don't want to go over the article, but I saw a couple articles basically saying this is going to affect the entire industry because there's like no other games coming out that like everyone's going to buy this year or would buy. So it could affect console sales this year, and obviously this game you can't buy this year. So we're in a very interesting inflection point when it comes to console games in particular, which we'll talk about later. But it was interesting.
I think so. I've seen a couple articles going around too. I think the doom and gloom games are dead, this year to this year RIP shit is overblown, and it's
games are never dead,
right? But I also think it's that doom and gloom that is all too I think expected today. It's not good, but as my friend Brandon has been saying online today, this doesn't affect as many people as you think. It affects shareholders, it affects big companies, but it's not going to stop people from making games.
No, but it will contract the industry more.
It's going
which
to
it has
affect,
been the last couple years. Yes.
I think it will affect console gaming, but I don't think it's going to affect gaming as much as people think. I think console gaming in general, and we're going to talk about this more later, is just at a very, very bad point.
Yes. We're not gonna say video game crash of 2025. We're not gonna say that because they've been trying to predict crashes forever that are happening.
But it's bad. It's bad for consoles.
It's a contraction that has been happening, but it's going to happen more.
Yeah.
Potentially across all three consoles and not just like one or two. That's the thing. Okay, so there's that happening. Then they released some of the there's like 6 giant areas in GTA 6. I'm not GTA to me is a game where I try to avoid these games that will draw me in and I can't escape. That's why I will never play a new Civilization game. Like they always tell you, I will never play a new Civilization game because I will never stop playing it. Like I cannot get on that where
the new one's got a lot of mixed reviews.
7?
Yeah.
But isn't 6 like perfect?
I thought 6 was great.
So it's always that thing. Well, don't screw with perfection, but you gotta make more money.
You gotta keep going.
You only can put out 5 DLC packs where people are like, we want a new game. But anyway, so yeah, I never played 4 was supposed to be a masterpiece. Never played 4. Then 5 was supposed to be
4 is great. I actually plan on going back to 4 because I still have it on my. Or do I have 3? Which one is Leonard Nimoy?
Leonard Nimoy's in it.
Leonard Nimoy is one of the does the narration.
I was gonna say it's a Star Trek rule of only the odd ones are good. But then I kind of like 1 and 3. Well, some people like 3, but 3 is garbage. Star Trek 3. Sorry if you like Star Trek 3. I hate that movie. I wrote about it on the Patreon one time. How much I did a review of it.
I didn't like it. I didn't hate it. I did not hate it as much as everyone else did.
Star Trek 3?
Yeah.
And I actually liked Star Trek 1. Now we're going on a side. Anyway.
I think 1 is great. There's
6 different huge areas in GTA. Because you come here to the CU podcast for GTA news. I know that. Rockstar news. Mm-hmm. We're the leading Rockstar podcast.
Civ 4 is the narrator for Civ 4. So that's the one I like to play.
So there's Vice City. There's like the swamp Everglades. There's like northern Florida region with mountain ranges and stuff, which doesn't really exist in Florida, but this is not really Florida. They don't say what state this is supposed to be, but it's Florida. Then there's like an industrial area. Then there's an area that used to be like a touristy area, now it's run down. And then the 6th area, I believe, is like the islands, archipelago. How do you say it? The islands, like the islands of Florida, the Keys, basically. So there's that 6. This is going to be a gigantic game. So that's one of the reasons they're probably delaying it. So there you go. So will I get this? Well, we'll see. Will I buy a new console for it? Well, no. I will not. But if it's on the PC, I might get it.
Probably not.
We'll see if that's finally time for a PC upgrade. If it'll be able to run that. What else is happening, Ian?
Our pal Derek from Stop Skeletons reached the end of his 16-player Faceball 2000 journey, along with their friend Stupid laptop.
That's not their name.
Zari.
Sorry,
And basically, so Faceball 2000, if you don't know what it is, it's a Game Boy game that's kind of like a very, very simplified first-person shooter. They also did a version of it for the Super Nintendo.
That's the version I remember playing.
Yes. And basically, it's Faceball because you are a face. It's just a smiley face, and you can either be on like a square, an orb, a triangle, or something like that. And you go left and right, and you rotate through mazes, and you shoot. And literally, that's all. I think it's just one kind of shot. So it basically just plays kind of like a Pac-Man with a basic bullet, you know?
Okay.
I guess.
A Pac-Man FPS, if you want to say that.
So I remember this being advertised as being multiplayer, and you could use the 4-person multi-tap. And
on the Game Boy,
yes.
The gray one, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I believe it was advertised, maybe not at release, but earlier on, they talked about being able to do more, 8 and then up to 16.
Without looking up, I think it was 8, advertised 8, but I have to look.
And looking at this, apparently that 16 players was scrapped, but still hidden. The code was still hidden, basically in there. So they didn't advertise it, but it was in there. I know that Jeremy Parrish at one of the Portland Retro Gaming Expos tried to do this, and they couldn't get it up off the ground. They couldn't get it running.
They couldn't get 16 players?
They couldn't get 16
They
players.
couldn't link enough for 4 of them together?
Well, they tried. They just couldn't get it to work.
It just wouldn't work. Okay.
Right. So, unfortunately, I have not seen all of this journey, and I'm going to watch it. This was brought to my attention shortly before the recording this, so I am going to watch it. But apparently they did finally fix it, and they got 16 people playing at one time.
Yeah, they run at conventions now.
Yep. And
they were in at PRG last year. They were at Midwest Gaming Classic this year. It's amazing.
So that's really cool just to see something so basic, but still technically impressive.
And they're looking to kind of consoleize in a way so they don't have to get all the different peripherals and have, I need 4 working these, or I have a Game Boy adapter if we use Game Boy Advance. Like
my understanding is, yes, something where you literally just plug them all the cables in, and that's it.
So you can outsource them all to the TVs. That's usually how it's presented at these conventions. So yeah, I mean, I love a nerdy quest like this.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
I love something that, hell, world's going to hell in a handbasket, but this is something cool.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And there was a real natural high for them when they finally got that shit.
And I used to use a phrase I never used before that my mom and dad would use in 1984.
What?
World going to hell in a handbasket.
Yeah.
That's such a boomer. That's like a World War I phrase, probably. not even greatest generation. The silent generation phrase. I didn't know it was MIDI Maze originally. Faceball 2000 for the Atari ST. I had no idea. I had no clue.
Oh yeah,
I did not know. I did not know the Faceball 2000 lore at all. Is that in the Super Nintendo guidebook? I gotta look at that up. No, I'm gonna add the next version and the reflections there. Interesting. Very interesting. And then this is great news. We were yelling like madmen about this a year or two ago, whenever it was, about Warner Brothers.
Oh yes,
and them just doing tax write-offs for at least 2 movies that we know of. The first one being Batgirl, which was basically finished and had Brendan Fraser as the villain. So people were excited because Brendan Fraser has had this comeback. He just got an Oscar.
I really wanted to see it for that reason.
And then it was supposed to be the first time Michael Keaton was coming back as Batman. Yes. People forget about that. Like that was part of the story before they did the awful Flash movie that was supposed to be horrendous.
I didn't see it.
So anyway, so no one's ever going to see that. But the Acme versus Wile E. Coyote movie was done, and I mean done. It was ready to stamp on Blu-ray. All the composing was done. All the editing was done. All the post-production was fucking finished.
They had already had a cast and crew showing of it. I know that was done. So like literally it was presented on a screen.
And then they decide we don't want the world to see this, even though it's tested well with test audiences. It has some good comedians in it. It has people that can help promote this, because this combination, it's like Who Framed Roger Rabbit, it's combination live action. Like this would be a movie that would be not necessarily going to be a runaway hit, but it's interesting enough to stand out that you should be doing something with this movie after everyone put their heart and soul into it.
Yeah.
Like real sets, like and then they say, no, we're not going to do it. We will just take the tax write-off. And
Not to mention, I think it's a clever idea. Like, who knows? I'm going to go see this. It could be a bad movie, but I think the idea is clever and fun as well, because it's basically it's Wile E. Coyote suing Acme for faulty products.
Hey, he's got a case, I think.
Yes, I do too.
I think he's got a strong case.
It's got Will Forte in it, and it's got John Cena and I think John Cena is going to be incredible as Acme's lawyer.
So he's going to be the defense lawyer.
Yep.
So that's funny. So he's promote
gonna be
it.
The villain. Yeah, like
WWE will promote it when it comes out. So at first they were asking for too high of a value. They wanted like more money than I think the tax write-off would have been. Like, it was ridiculous.
So initially people complained and they were like, okay, we'll try to sell it. And they basically asked just like an impossible number that no one was going to agree to.
No one would break even on it because you have to spend money to advertise these movies.
Right.
You can't just buy the rights. You have to do something with it after that. So the good news is that Ketchup Entertainment,
after they did they bought and published the Looney Tunes movie that I went to go see, the Daffy and Porky, the Day the Earth Blew Up, I think is what it was called.
Porky, I think, yeah, something like that.
It was fun. It was great to go see some, traditional hand-drawn animation.
Because they bought the rights to that, too.
It was a good time, and it did. It was barely known that it was in theaters, and I think people found out about it late and went to go see it.
I saw, I think, 1 or 2 commercials for it after it was like out.
And that was supposed to be kind of a test run, and I was really concerned because, again, there wasn't a lot of advertisement, and people didn't really know it was even in theaters until it was almost out of theaters. But they bought this one too. I feel like they've got money to burn.
Yeah, it's a production company with a lot of heavy names behind it. It's only around for 10 years. So they bought it for $15 million, the animated movie. Traditionally, this is traditional 2D animation. So they bought it for $15. According to Wikipedia, it hit 13.8 at the box office. They didn't spend a ton to promote this. I saw almost no promotion.
No.
So you would hope the tail end on streaming, physical releases, they're going to make their money back and profit.
Right.
So to show you that, hey, we can do this. This movie has so much behind it in terms of the story, and people who in the industry have known about this, and random people, and even like I think I've seen Will Forte publicly talk about this. Where it's like, I said, I would promote the hell out of this if this thing comes out. Like, so this has a lot more going for it. And yes, it's more expensive, but this has, and John Cena's involved.
It's got some star power behind it and people behind it that will appeal to a wider range of a wider audience than a cartoon movie that is a cartoon.
Correct.
I mean, it was a long Looney Tune, and it was great. I loved it, but that's not going to appeal to as many people.
Sure. So we're looking at, when is this supposed to come out again? Sometime. Oh, it's next year. It's coming out.
Yeah, 2025.
It's 2026.
Jesus.
Just Coyote versus Acme, not Wile E. Coyote.
Okay.
Just Coyote versus Acme. So the budget is between 70 and 72 million on it. So there you go. So they had to pony up some cash. So hopefully they at least break even or shoot a profit on this. And it was produced by James Gunn. I did not know that.
Oh yeah.
So he'll push it. He's got. I mean, I don't know how that's going to do it. He's at Warner Brothers, but he'll probably still want to promote it on his Twitter and everything. You know what I mean? Like he'll probably still push. He's probably proud of it.
Yeah.
So yeah. So it's a good story. Let's go out and see it.
Yeah. I mean, this is the sort of thing where I think everyone sees these articles and they're like, "Oh, I would have seen that." Make sure you go see it now after saying that.
Yeah, not that we have a revival right now with like original movies, but Sinners is doing gangbusters at the box office. That's an original horror movie.
Yeah, go see something that takes a risk.
Yeah, go see something that's
not a superhero movie.
This is interesting. And yeah, we have a superhero movie right now. It's getting good reviews, which is it's been a long time since we had one that's done this well in terms of reviews. But yeah, I want to go see Sinners still. It's getting great reviews. And I want to see the new Mission Impossible. I had to see the one beforehand, the number 6. This is the last one. This is 7. I didn't see 6. Yeah, so, yeah. Unless it gets tariffed, because that's what our president said. He wants a tariff movies made out of the U.S. That came up a couple days ago.
And then our governor said, yeah, let's work together.
Oh, on what? On tariffs?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Newsom's a fucking...
Well, you can't tariff movies.
No, but Newsom's a doormat. He Just reached. Yeah, it was awful. Reached right out to.
Well, we're not going to think. Newsom is trying to like angle to be this like center left guy in the next presidential election.
Sucks.
I don't know.
Anyway. And speaking of tariffs,
no tariffs at ultimatenintendo.com. Not yet, at least. Not that I know of. I don't know if you're tariffing U.S. goods outside the country for books. Actually, I think that's the one good thing. I don't think there's tariffs on books, I believe, coming from China here. But anyway, so you can buy certain N64 guidebooks. Super Nintendo books are running low on stock, but you can get yours. You can get RBI baseball stickers that were made in California because it's Tengen, it's Atari. We know that. Then you got enamel stickers and stuff like that. All available at ultimatenintendo.com.
You stream on Wednesdays.
I do. What's my channel name?
Country Code.
Why'd you say it like Country Code?
Because I was guessing. Twitch TV Country Code.
/.com/country code. And Ian is Pixel.
Yeah, you can catch me on Thursdays spinning tunes. Twitch TV
PXL
SICLE
rolls off the tongue.
And just a quick shout, Yokoi Kids. We still have copies of Yokoi Kids Volume 2. Go to yokoikids.com.
How much is it?
Support charity. $15 for Yokoi Kids Volume 2. 110 pages. 25 Game Boy games covered. Articles, cartoons, comics, everything.
I was gonna pull a baller and give you $15 out of my wallet, but my wallet's not on me.
Also, we just put, because we're not going to reprint Volume 1, and Volume 1's completely sold out. We did put it up digitally for $3.
There you go.
So go grab it.
There you go. Tommy's head's falling off. I was gonna say get some money out of the Larry bag, but there's no money in there anymore. But Tommy's sort of falling. There you go. Good enough. People ask me if there's money still there. No, I spent that shit. Larry didn't want it. Speaking of tariffs, this was an article came out on Engadget. I don't know how this is going to work because we undid a lot of the electronics tariffs almost within a week because we realized that would like destroy entire industries. Not that the tariffs won't destroy entire industries because they are, but Abernick, who puts out a lot of those popular sort of Game Boy clone handhelds, as Ian has not plugged in his laptop yet. There you go. Don't worry, Ian. It's only been doing this for 12 years. So Abernick from an Engadget article says they're going to stop U.S. shipments of their handhelds.
Yeah, this is from the 21st of April, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it in case things have been reversed, but this is exactly what's going to be happening with these tariffs and all the confusion. The good news is Ann Bernick and a lot of these companies have warehouses in the U.S. that have product in them. Yeah. So you can still buy, as of right now,
if it's
for the original price.
If it's in the country, you don't tariff it. It's only when you import them.
It's just going to be a matter of...
things running out.
And Bernick ships from China, which is probably the last market we're going to see Trump do any sort of rolling back on. I think that's the last country he'll roll back tariffs on. Because he wants to make a point.
Yeah, he undid almost all of them except for China. But unfortunately, we get the vast majority of our electronics and plastic goods from China.
Yep. And components for things that are made in the U.S. from China.
Yes, a lot of the components we make parts for things like you don't make everything from one country anymore. Parts come from all over. You import parts to use in other things. This isn't the 1840s.
So, yeah, we're going to keep seeing this. And I mean, people were posting screenshots of stuff from Temu, all the cheap stuff. But then you get hit with like a $78 charge at the end.
Yeah, because it's 175% tariff, which means you're paying almost triple the amount that you were before.
Yeah, I don't know. I would love to hope that people who play video games see this stuff and go, oh, maybe I wasn't voting for the right person.
Well, here's the thing. If it affects them directly, that's what people only care when things in this country. People only care when they affect them directly, because we are very selfish at times.
Well, and so people talk about how we're a treat economy, and what keeps people placid in America is the ability to buy treats for ourselves. I
never heard that expression before. Is treat economy?
A treat economy. I only started hearing about it a couple months ago, but it's true. And we went through a lockdown. A pandemic where people couldn't deal with not having Chili's for 2 months.
They couldn't deal by not going to the hair salon for a couple months.
Right.
They freaked out.
And now we've got the president, literally on TV telling people that maybe their kids are only going to have 1 or 2 dolls now. And all of our,
he said instead of 30 or something.
yeah, and all of our, all of our electronics, our video games, all the little toys that we all love are now going to be expensive, and it's going to impact people directly. Because we don't do well when we get told we can't have treats.
We're like children then. Treats.
Yeah.
Just say it's like shaking a little rattle in front of us. I was trying to see if they reversed the Abernick thing, but I can't find it. So yeah, it may not be small electronics, maybe obviously the big ones, because obviously, if they tariffed everything on the computers that we import, we'd be screwed, and all the things for like TVs and stuff, because that has all like large electronics and boards and shit that we don't produce. So yeah, we'll see about this little stuff. But if I was a company, like, I don't know if this is affecting, if this is going to affect like analog products in the future. I have no clue. I didn't even think about that. Is that going to affect the new 3D one that I pre-ordered? Am I going to now pay tariffs?
To assume. I think anything that's that far along where they're saying, okay, here we have a ship date, I would hope that would be stock that's in the U.S. by now. But who knows? Who fucking knows?
You pay it when it enters the country, the tariff. That's how it works usually.
So it depends on if they're here or not.
That's cutting it really fucking close, because
sure is.
They're supposed to be out by July? It's early May. I didn't think about that. I don't know where they're I know where they're producing them from now that I think about it. I got to ask my source if that's affecting it. I should have thought up for the podcast. Oh boy, that's gonna be hard. if it's 175% on top, holy shit! You go from 300 to what is that? 800? Pat math? Holy shit! What's 175 plus 300? Because 100% is 300. 75% of 300 is like 200 something. It's like $800.
Yeah, it's just dumb.
It's just insanity. Sorry, don't want to get political. Oh God. Speaking of money, and I guess consoles, and someone might be out of a lot of money potentially. Nintendo is suing Genki. Genki makes Switch case, and we got our own controller handle holder. I don't know what Genki does exactly, but they the look you give me. They make these peripherals for these consoles. They also
make games.
I know they make games. I didn't know that.
Yes.
They publish games, Genki?
Genki, yes.
Anyway,
provided this is the same Genki, and I can't imagine it's not.
Well, they just miscalculated greatly. So Genki, if you remember, one of the sources, not the only one, but one of the main sources.
Maybe it's different.
It's different?
Yeah, it might be a different Genki.
Genki, I'm going to look up Genki Amazon and see what comes up. So one of the main reasons why there was absolutely zero surprise about what the Switch 2 was going to look like, the size of it,
because this accessory maker had, they're making accessories for the Switch 2. They had the dimensions, and they 3D printed a model of it at one of the games.
CES, Consumer Electronics Show, the one that's in January. That's usually in Vegas, that I've been to 15 years ago. That's wow, holy shit. So they basically had a 3D printout to the specification size with the button layouts and everything of the Switch 2. And we're confirming things like, oh yeah, it's the magnetic Joy-Cons go in and out, things like that. So I don't know how early in advance these accessory makers get the specs. But it did not seem like, at least in my opinion, where I saw that they were supposed to have had all that information at that point in time. We're talking, because that's several months before the console comes out, that you have, your mock-up, your printout of it like that. So Nintendo was not happy, and even had lawyers at their booth at CES. So it wasn't positive vibes even then about what was happening. So this is from videogameschronicle.com. Nintendo is suing the accessory manufacturer that showed off Switch 2 early. A 3D printed mock-up of the then unannounced Switch 2 was widely circulated in January. So, yeah. And then they were going on Twitter, being public about it too, on top of it. In this article that they have, there's a reply to, from December, to the GameStop CEO Ryan Cohen. Would also love to DM you with some of the launch Switch 2 accessories we are working on. I guess to set up, a little relationship there. So it was an open secret that they had the goods on what this was, and they weren't being quiet about it.
I would say probably one of the larger issues, and this is from a PC Mag article, is Nintendo claims that Genki presented all unauthorized 3D printed mock-ups of the Switch 2. Oh, that's not the one. Where is it? Basically, they're being sued for trademark infringement because I think the legal aspect of this that is going to stick is, here it is. Genki played a video showcasing the 3D renders of the Switch 2 branded with Nintendo's registered design trademarks at its booth and on its website. Multiple media interactions at CES, Genki CEO Edward Tsai also confirmed specific, highly confidential design and functionality of the not yet announced Nintendo Switch 2. I don't love over litigious litigation, and I don't agree with a lot of the litigation that Nintendo has done over the years, but this falls into the category of, and we've covered things like this many times before, where what the fuck were you thinking you were doing?
So if they didn't assign if they got this, we don't know how they acquired this information. We don't. We just know it was out there. Multiple sources had this. It sounds like it was leaked out of somewhere. Some worker at the plant had this either out of Vietnam or someone in China or whatever, smuggled out some of the specs to people and it became public. So if Genki didn't sign an NDA, they are in no legal trouble to share it. The same way if we could have shared stuff, we could have been threatened, but like, hey, this was like, I'm reporting on something I found out there. I'm not the one that committed the crime and smuggling it. That's the first thing. The second thing is, you said the trademark infringement. If they said we're mocking it up in the 3D form, if that had any Nintendo logos on it, then they're done. Because you are now purporting using a trademark on an item for a trademark you do not own. It doesn't matter if it's a 3D mock-up, you're in public, that you cannot do that.
And because of the way Nintendo is suing here, I'm going to guess that there probably was not an NDA.
Because they would sue over that.
They would sue over that. That would be much easier than this, although this is pretty clear.
But you're saying if they showed off any video stuff with a 3D image of it saying, hey, this is the Switch with Nintendo's logo and their Switch logo, they're done. Because now you are in a public setting. Basically, the reason trademarks exist is that there's not confusion in the marketplace, that someone cannot misrepresent a product that actually isn't what it is. They misrepresented a Nintendo product. It doesn't matter if it ended up looking exactly like that at a trade show to potential partners and competitors. You are representing a product that isn't public yet with our logo on it, so people might think that's that product, and that's why you have trademarks.
Well,
so
right. So Nintendo hasn't said anything about this yet. This console yet. If you're at this show are you taking this as official communication, et cetera, et cetera?
Yes. So on that standpoint, they probably have them dead to rights, and they're screwed on that. Because that's why you cannot do mock-ups with Nintendo's logo and say, hey, this is the official product. It's like, what? That's why you file the trademark, so companies can't do that. They can't just put Nintendo trademarks on other products, like electronic products, willy-nilly like that. Okay. Render of the then unannounced Nintendo Switch 2, a render which Nintendo included Nintendo trademarks. I'm not even know they probably be unless they trademark the specific shape and Joy-Con layout. They might have been okay not having that Nintendo like logo on it and stuff. But I'm not even sure about that, to be honest. I'm not a trademark or copyright lawyer when it comes to that. So anyway, and then the Genki CEO tweeted out, Edward Tsai tweeted out a picture of himself going like shh, saying Genki ninjas infiltrate Nintendo Kyoto HQ. So now you're just like poking the bear at that point. Like now you're just saying
we already know that Nintendo will sue for any reason, good or bad. So this is not. Yeah, it just very strange.
Because now what you're insinuating is this is industrial espionage, which it probably was to smuggle out the exact specs and such. So now it's like. Oh boy. Nintendo claims it was an apparent attempt to further confuse the public as to whether Genki had access to a Nintendo Switch 2 and/or affiliation with Nintendo. In April, one day before Nintendo Switch 2 presentation, Nintendo alleges that Genki mass emailed its marketing list and posted on social media that it would hold its own direct presentation, which Nintendo contests is blatant infringement on its own Nintendo Direct branding. Oh boy, I didn't realize about that. Oh boy.
I did not know that.
Oh boy. So it's just on top of each other. One thing by itself, maybe, but now you're showing intent with the tweet and everything, and it's just like, and now your own quote unquote direct presentation that happens before Nintendo's official one. I don't want to be Genki's lawyers. I'll just say that.
No, it's the mess.
I'll just say that. That's lawyer Pat and Ian there with their non-official advice.
Yeah.
About that. Outrun movie has been announced.
Sydney Sweeney and Michael Bay doing Outrun. I mean, what else?
She's just producing. She's not going to be the blonde in the car, as far as I know. Maybe she will be. Maybe she will be the blonde in the car. I don't know. She's all over the place now. Everyone loves it. There's Sydney Sweeney. Yeah. This is one of those things where I'll believe it when I see it. Actually, when I see a trailer, because we've had so many of these things announced in the past that never have come out. We're gonna do. We've seen ones like a Space Invaders movie was one in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Then we'll do a Tetris movie, which ended up being the James Bond style mockumentary
forever, and probably switched what it was going to be a million times.
Then I think we did an announcement saying they were trying to do other Sega movies in the past. We always said, well, what's the IP that the public would know outside of Sonic? What is the one that people know? Like, is there any? Would the average 20 to 30-year-old know what the fuck Outrun is? Probably not. So like, what are you going to be doing with this? Is it just going to be we're just in a red convertible? Like, that's the plot of Outrun. Like, that's all it is.
Right. Yeah.
We don't even know the name of the race. I don't know if there's an official name of the race.
I don't think there is.
It's a guy in sunglasses and a blonde that wags her finger after you kill them from tumbling over because they don't wear their seatbelts in the car.
Nope.
So, yeah. The game is from Deadline. The game pioneered a new genre of driving games and spawned an electronic music subgenre aptly named Outrun. I don't know. It's still a racing game. It's just that it's in a cooler, laid-back environment.
Well, it has the multiple paths. That's the big thing.
Sure. You're not running laps like pole position.
Right.
Sure.
You get a choice at the end of each segment to go, to change where you go.
I see.
So it branches out like a triangle.
Is that what makes it a driving game versus racing? I don't think is driving technically a subgenre to racing? I looked that up.
I don't know.
I think you're.
I think that's
stretching it a bit.
Hairs. Yeah.
Okay. You're racing against the clock. To me, it's a racing game. I mean,
yes.
You're trying to come in either in first place or beat the clock. Unique combo making it a worldwide hit. Blah 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 blah. Sweeney may be one of the town's busier stars in front of the camera, but over the past year, she has become active on producing. That's where the real money and control is. Look at Tom Cruise. That's what he's been doing the past 20 years on all his movies. Basically, produces them all. Blah blah blah. Okay, that's all. I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah,
it's one of those things.
Mm-hmm. And then wrapping up this intro with unfortunate news in the industry, the video game industry, whether it's game production or media, has not been great. The Giant Bomb got shut down. Basically, Giant Bomb was bought by Fandom, and Fandom wanted to make them become a more family-friendly website and podcast, which is a gross misreading of Giant Bomb. I don't listen to a lot of podcasts, but I know Giant Bomb is, kind of frank with opinions. They joke a lot.
Sure.
They swear. I despite not listening to a lot of podcasts, I'll give them credit for being one of the only other podcasts early on that took that had issue with the Amico and pointed out its flaws and things like that. They talked about it quite a bit. Giant Bomb. And yeah, trying to make that family friendly. So basically they tore that apart in the middle of one of their on their last episode, and they got news that the podcast was canceled in the middle of that episode.
Because the higher ups heard it?
Because the higher ups heard it.
Well, maybe they saw the writing on the wall and just said, fuck it, we'll just burn it down.
I think that's exactly it. I mean, what else are you going to do? I mean, unless you want to completely,
kowtow to
right,
a different
and
style
that's not what they would do. And then Polygon was sold to Game Rant, and some staff has been laid off, and we are just at the point where we basically have no websites that you can go to and read about video games anymore that haven't been completely gutted and shelled.
You got IGN, you got Ars Technica. Are they still doing stuff?
I mean, Kotaku isn't really one. I mean, Kotaku has, but they're all. None of these places are places where you can go and get all your video game news anymore. And all I've got to say is, support independent journalism. Aftermath is out there doing some good stuff. Support them, and I hope everyone, lands on their feet here.
Yeah. And for those that celebrate websites closing or people losing their jobs because they might have a cultural or political slant you don't like, I'll just say this. You always want more versus less variety of anything. You want different viewpoints. You want different... what?
Depends on the viewpoint.
Okay. Well, in general, Ian,
yes,
you want to support these different viewpoints because when you don't want to have it go down to less and less, and that you only have one editorial slant coming at you. Would you agree with that?
Oh yeah, you want variety. I'm just saying you don't have to entertain outright malicious viewpoints.
I didn't necessarily say that.
I know you didn't, but that's the slippery slope it gets to with the marketplace of ideas. Shit.
Sure. But we're now from 8 or so. There were like maybe 8 different video game news sites
I get what
15 years ago. And there were some that I would shy away from because I thought they're a little too over the top. Let's relax. So now we're down to like 2.
Yes.
Or so.
In the variety, so, I don't know. Everything sucks in video games. At least on the macro level.
Perfectly aligned with Valnet's long-term growth strategy, Polygon will now integrate Valnet's gaming portfolio, which includes the industry-leading publications such as Game Rant, The Gamer, Fextra Life, I never heard of that, Open Critic, Dual Shockers, and Hardcore Gamer. Aren't some of those just like aggregates for news? Probably.
I think so.
Is Dual Shockers, do they have like editorials on Dual Shockers? Or is that just an aggregate?
No, I think Dual Shocker. I think all of those have some sort of editorial.
So they own a bunch of them. They're just adding more to the portfolio. They're monopolizing it.
Yes.
Basically. I don't know what Fextra Life is. That could be anything. We're looking at that. This edition follows Valnet's recent acquisition of Fextra Life. I want to look that up. Further strengthening its position in the gaming media landscape. With Valnet's proven operational excellence, Polygon is poised to reach new editorial heights through focused investment and innovation.
Sounds like death to me.
Then, what is new edit? What is new edit? I would ask the person that wrote that question or wrote that statement. What does new editorial heights actually mean to you?
Nothing.
Does that mean like you have honed what you're focusing on? You're like what does that actually mean? That doesn't necessarily mean better content, does it? What is that?
That's the problem with corporate speak. None of it really means anything.
I'm looking at, this is just the CEO, Vox CEO, it's blah, blah, corporate speak. In a message to staff, Bangkok also cited the current uncertain economic outlook and broader changes in the gaming industry as contributing reasons to the sale. Okay, well, there you go, Vox. You just sold it off. And then you always get the editor-in-chief saying, I'm not there anymore. So there you go. Then you always have a lot of tweets, people saying I'm out of a job. You've seen it more and more the past years with the gaming websites.
Yep.
I wonder if 5-10 years we're going to have a gaming website anymore. I honestly don't know if we're going to have one. All right, just to close off this topic, it's always worse when we're closing more media publications, digital or physical, newspapers and whatnot. We need journalistic voices for investigation, for research, for distilling the kernel of truths out there, right?
Yep. So, I don't know. Go out and support your independent games journalism. Support Aftermath. Support the Insert Credit podcast. Support what happens with the Giant Bomb crew. If you feel, if you're missing this, if you are starting to see all of this disappear, and you don't like it, help support the people who are making it happen still.